All right, A to Z Sports, Titan Game Day Live, the halftime show. My goodness, that half was a bunch of wasted opportunities and then an unnecessary opportunity. Will Levis is in pain as the Titans and Jags in the first half. 3-0, the Titans lead after an early field goal on the opening drive and a bunch of nothing, a bunch of back and forth madness. But man, Will Levis hurt on a 1 second left on the clock situation. And we're here to break it down in a very rapid fashion. I'm Austin Stanley alongside Easton Freeze for our Titan Game Day Live show on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Make sure you hit that like button while you're here. But Easton, before we officially get going, I'll let you tell the people what they have to do here because I almost stole your job from you. But go ahead and tell the people what they got to do when they rock in here on a 3-0 first half.
Yeah, help us out on this quick halftime show with a like. Get that like button before you get out of here on YouTube, on Facebook. Like the show for us, and we'll talk about a dramatic ending to the half. I have some thoughts.
Yes, as we all should. Welcome to A to Z Sports Titan Game Day Live. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Easton Freeze. And we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network going live every Titan game day on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch for our halftime post-game show. Had a pre-game show earlier talking some college football playoff. If you want to go listen to that, you can after the second half begins. But Will Levis just gets hurt. There's 1 second on the clock. The Titans have the ball right around midfield after Otis Reese gets the second interception on Mac Jones so far. And Will Levis gets absolutely drilled from his blind side. J.C. Latham gets beat by Josh Hines-Allen. Allen Hines, one of those two. Allen Hines is the guy I went to college with. But anyway, Will Levis gets drilled, and now he is hurt. Looks like it's at right throwing shoulder is what he was holding again. Easton, what do you think about that? I mean, we were just talking about it right before we went live. Like, do you even try something here down with 1 second left in midfield? And obviously they did, and it was the worst case scenario. And did you watch Georgia yesterday, who lost Carson Beck doing the same damn thing?
Yes.
Less than 24 hours ago. Easton, your initial reaction on that?
I don't know what they're thinking. I understand it's what the fans want to do, and it's like, why not take a shot?
The chat, it's not what the fans want to do.
Well,
but in hindsight, but
I know. But earlier this season, they had the same opportunity to do something like that, and they didn't, and fans were very mad. So I am 1,000% calling out the fans for selective anger here, because the entire point we have an opinion on the record from Callahan for this is because there was outrage. They didn't attempt a shot right before half earlier in the season. And then that week, I think it was the Monday press conference, he comes and tells us why he doesn't really like pre-halftime Hail Marys. It's because defense tends to rush the passer. You're liable to get the guy hurt. There's a chance to turn the ball over and put a needless interception on your stat sheet. It almost never works, almost never. So why do it? And that's good logic. And it's not popular logic. It wasn't then. It shouldn't be now. But it's good logic. And then they go and they do that. I don't know why. And it could have, we don't know what Will Levis's injury status is. He gets up holding that shoulder that was hurt earlier in the season, his throwing shoulder. J.C. Latham is the one that gets blown by there, which is another element of this that's very bad and surprising. I didn't get a chance to see the replay, or I guess maybe so in shock I didn't get a chance to watch the replay to see what exactly went wrong there for him to just get blown by like that. But
this looked bad, guys. Like this looked bad. Somebody saying broken collarbone, who knows? But we do know that he sprained significantly, had that AC joint in his throwing shoulder hurt, 2 months ago at the end of September against Miami. This is just flat out malpractice, because I don't get what you're actually going to accomplish here. This game means nothing. The only thing that this game needs is a healthy Will Levis to continue to evaluate him. And now Will Levis, Travis is saying, is he done for the year?
We don't know.
Who knows? Jake, he's probably 100% done for the season. It opens so many unnecessary conversations because 1 second left on the clock before halftime. So I want to know from this, I'm going to put up a YouTube poll, but I just want people in the chat. Were you for or against trying something at the end of the half? Now, we all know hindsight's 2020. We know what the result is.
This is going to be an honest answer.
it's not going to be honest. It's not going to be perfect, but I just want to know, like what type of against votes do we have? 4 votes do we have? I'll put up a YouTube poll, but 4 or against the Titans going for something with 1 second at the end of the first half. Easton, I'll send you the chat so far. I see some comments rolling in. There's both on both sides of it. So I'll let you kind of do that part of it.
Sorry, I was not paying attention to you. What do you want me to do?
Check the chat
Okay.
to see what they're saying for
Sure.
or against.
So the chat seems to, like you mentioned, on both sides of things, people being honest here, Nick and Steve and MB all saying they were for it. Jacob says they were for it. Brandon and Scott were both against the idea. I'm seeing people being honest, saying for it. So this is in line with what I believe is the common thread here. Because again, we had this happen and it was a big talking point on the internet and on the radio shows and in the media earlier in the season when they had a chance to do this and they didn't take that opportunity, and people panned the decision making by Brian Callahan, and he had to address it in a press conference. So at least I think, folks are being consistent, and say most of them, I'd say probably 2/3 of people, maybe 75% of people in the chat saying that they were for it, but there certainly were some people that in all caps were strongly against it. And, in hindsight, I think all these people that said for, I'm wondering if maybe going forward, they may change their opinion on these situations.
I mean, and now I see Ryan saying JC Latham is he's beyond awful. Somebody saying
that's
Joey
crazy.
says Latham is a right tackle.
Also,
I think JC Latham has played a very good football season as a rookie until the last 6 quarters. And really, I don't think he was bad today up until that last 1 second on the clock. There was one other time that
Levis he had one he just had one sleeping rep. I don't know what he's just asleep at the wheel here.
Sleeping in the wheel can cause a lot of lifetime damage.
Right.
If you do it one time or twice, you don't do it. That's bad. One time is too many to fall asleep at the wheel.
But it certainly is not enough to say that a guy stinks or is playing the wrong position.
Do it. It doesn't matter.
Crazy.
The results show that you fell asleep at the wheel, and disaster could have happened with Will Levis's throwing shoulder. So, Easton, I think we've given a few minutes. Right at 1 minute. It is 50-50. Like the YouTube poll is legitimately 50-50, and I'm seeing it bounce, go back and forth. I'm taking a screenshot. Oh, now it's 51% against. I tried to take a screenshot at 50-50 with well over 100 votes. Obviously, you are against it, right? You are against doing something.
I was the first time. I was again today. Yes.
I am against it as well because
and saying Easton, quit being a fan and start being a journalist. What am I doing wrong?
Ben, don't worry about Ben. Ben is Ben will fly off the handle.
Known hater. Okay, I'll ignore Ben from now on.
I'm not saying Ben's a known hater.
Okay.
Ben watched the show all the time. I appreciate Ben for how long he's been here, but Ben has the tendency to kind of spin some things and take things the wrong way. But I am against doing this at the end of the half. Like when there's nothing on the line. Like, again, we watched the SEC championship game yesterday. Carson Beck couldn't hold a football. And so,
yes,
like Will Levis is everything here. Like, I understand, like, this is football, and some people say, oh, it's football. You play a play, you go do it. But there is something different about this situation of being at midfield, 1 second left, it's 3-0. Just don't do anything.
My friend Ryan Shumper, he works for Rocky Top Insider covering the Volunteers, and he was somebody that was very strongly against the decision made earlier in the year when they just handed the ball off and didn't take a shot before half. At the time, he in a private text message with me, he's like, "What is Callahan thinking? Not just taking a shot there." And I explained to him why I didn't really like it, and then I sent him the clip from the press conference on Monday why Callahan didn't like it, and he came away like, "Okay, I guess I kind of understand that. I still personally take the shot there." And then yesterday, he's covering college football because that's his job, and we're all watching the Georgia game, and we see what happened to Carson Beck, and he DMs me again, brings it back up for the first time in 2 months, and is like, "You know what? I've come around to Callahan's sharp decision. I get it now." And, it looks like, okay, Brian Callahan, good decision maker on that. Ultimately, you're seeing it borne out on Saturday. Here's exactly why you don't do it. And so that's why I'm just sitting here befuddled. I have no idea what the plan was there. I want to see the replay again. Was Will Levis already in the process of trying to throw the ball downfield?
No, he was. Okay. No, he was flat. He was still he had just gotten to the back end of his drop.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm sitting there wondering if it was maybe intended to be a short pass, but I guess if he wasn't throwing the ball, the answer is no. I don't know, man. That is question 1A, obviously, in the post-game press conference. It's probably question 1A, and 1B and 1C tomorrow at the Monday press conference. I am anxiously awaiting the justification for that decision.
Well, and here's the result of it is that Mason Rudolph is taking snaps from Daniel Brunskill right now as the Titans are out of the locker room for the second half. So that is what that situation was. And so, again, this is just so maddening because Will Levis, look, wasn't his last 4 games self in the first half. He missed the easy touchdown to Chigaconko on 4th and goal. They kept the game at 3-0. But he was still on the same trajectory. And this is squarely on Brian Callahan because now we are unable to see Will Levis do anything if this is a Mason Rudolph second half. And I don't expect him to play next week against Cincinnati Bengals, which is a Will Levis versus Joe Burrow with no defenses playing shootout opportunity for Will Levis to do something. We don't see Will Levis again against the Colts. Who knows how long Will Levis is out. But this hurts Brian Callahan's job security. And I don't know if that's too forward or not, but that's how I feel. This hurts Brian Callahan's job security, to be honest.
The thing I'm sitting here thinking about is honestly, like, I don't think we would all be, I certainly would not be railing nearly as hard on Brian Callahan if we didn't have precedent, right? That it's not the fact that he did it because, plenty of coaches have different philosophies on this and plenty of coaches do take the shot downfield when you got one last play before half and see what happens. And so if this was the first chance that they had to try that and they did it and it resulted disastrously, we'd be talking about how terrible it went, but we wouldn't be saying what in the world was Callahan thinking necessarily. Because again, other coaches do try this. But the fact that they had the opportunity previously, he went on the record planting his flag on, here's what I believe about these situations and the risk you're running if you choose to throw the ball. And then it's borne out exactly. I mean, he gave the warning.
Okay.
And then it happened.
I got an update because now Will Levis is on the sideline throwing the football with a helmet on, not really letting it rip, but this is from multiple people. We do got to go to some super chats before we get out of here because the second half is about to start.
I really hope he's okay.
Ryan says fireable offense by Callahan. TLG says against don't have the O-line weapons and execution level to make something happen in 1 second. I agree with that. Kick of the King says forget the injury. Levis played poorly this half. Yes. And then Waltz comes in with Callahan is officially a problem. So that's the super chats there. Easton, we'll find out if Will Levis does play in the second half of this game.
On the broadcast here, he
the Jags get the ball. The Jags get the ball though, so we'll see what happens. But hey, shout out to our sponsors for X Golf, playxgolf.com, BetMGM for myself. I hope Levis plays for those bets, and then also for T-Dot, join the solution to end littering across our state. Nobody trashes Tennessee.com. We will see you guys for the second half post-game show. Appreciate it as always.